Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture, and I've got something a little different for you today. For instead of reviewing films or comics or video games, we're going to look at another one of my cuboid of hobbies, board games. And in this case, it is the Dark Souls card game, kindly provided to me by Steamforged Games ahead of its March release. So, is this game as difficult as the franchise it is based on, or is it a few cards short of a deck? Well, let's find out. But before we do, did you know that WhatCulture also does a board game? It's true, we do. And you can purchase it at shop.whatculture. Who knows, I might even sign a copy or two to devalue them a little bit. Now onto the review. So, what's this game about? Well, it's a 4-player co-op experience in which you and some buddies can take on the soupy aggression of the game itself. The twist this time, however, is that unlike the Dark Souls miniature game that's already been released, each player has a deck of cards containing equipment, armor, and stamina. Stamina cards, for anyone familiar with games like Magic the Gathering, pretty much act like land. You use them to cast abilities or defense or attack. However, the interesting thing to note is that these cards represent your health. Therefore, if you run out of cards, you're brown bread, you've shuffled off your mortal coil. You're f***ing dead. This creates a fantastic dynamic between trying to balance offense and defense using your deck and hemorrhaging useful cards. When you take damage, you have to discard a card, meaning that deck that seems so big can dwindle very, very quickly. And because, of course, it is Dark Souls, it is incredibly hard in places. In our playthroughs of the game, we just scraped by the skin of our teeth so many times, and we did indeed taste the bitter tang of defeat. Yet you can customize your deck, and each death sees you over flipping a bonfire card, which actually increases the amount of cards you can have, meaning that the game actually gets slightly easier the more you lose. However, you only get a few times to use a flip over a bonfire card before that goes out and the game is over. This will come of some relief to some players who have played the miniature board game, because this bigger deck that you get actually gives you some slight respite and a fairer chance of winning, which means that you'll be playing more, which means you'll be coming back for more punishment. Combat is quick and varied, with over 50 different enemy types to go up against and 4 bosses ripped straight from Dark Souls 3 that are designed to mess you up. The boss battles are the best thing about this game, as they should be, because it is, after all, Dark Souls, each of them coming with unique abilities and victory conditions. I cannot express the joy we felt as a group when we finally took down High Lord Wolnir using my last card, the last card in the deck. That feeling encapsulates what Dark Souls is. Just getting by, just eking through a victory, and then just raining down in the glory that comes with it. The concept of loot is also quite refreshing, as every time you clear an area and get your pile of stuff, you can't actually use it straight away. You could go back to the bonfire, thus flipping over another one of those very, very few cards, and then you get them put into your inventory, or you can go further in and risk this pile to get another one, but you get to keep this one. It's basically gambling, and that's good. I would just like to say that I do not endorse gambling unless you are of legal age, 18 or 21, whichever it is in your area. This loot is obviously in card form and can be added to your deck, and you can use the souls you get to buy dual staminas, thereby creating some incredibly powerful combinations in the late game. However, you do also run the risk again of adding in new cards and undoing the fine balance of what makes your character work so well. It's that player choice again versus the risk and reward of maybe gambling it all for one sort of Hail Mary further down the line. I love this. I love this a lot. Now, it took about 30 minutes to learn the rules, about 15 minutes to set up all the cards, and the average playtime is about an hour to an hour and a half, and we have barely scratched the surface with this. There's tons of encounter types, tons of enemy types, and obviously all the different bosses, meaning that there's a lot of content for you to play through. The playstyle itself feels quite relaxed compared to the miniature game, as all players get to share a turn, meaning that you can discuss strategies, you can see what other people have got, and you can work together to take down what's in front of you. The presentation of the game and box is really, really nice as well, with the cards looking like they're going to be able to withstand quite a lot of punishment. The only negative thing I can possibly think of really is that when you see all of the stuff set up, there is a lot going on and it can be overwhelming to new players, but if you're playing with 1 or 2 experienced players, it's really not that hard to overcome. And seeing as that is pretty much my only critique of the game, that speaks volumes of how much fun we had with this. With this in mind, I give Dark Souls the card game 4.5 stars out of 5. This is a much more relaxed and possibly fairer experience than the Dark Souls miniature game, but it still retains a lot of the challenge that makes Dark Souls so much fun. And that's our review of Dark Souls the card game. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below and whether or not you're going to pick this up when it releases in March. And remember, if you want more board games, you can always head back to shop.whatculture and pick up our board game and its wrestling expansion. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.